Hello, hello. Welcome to Media Queen TV and happy International Women's Day. We have the brilliant and absolutely perfect guest for this event today, this amazing live stream chat. We're going to be talking about how to rise in worth, wealth, and wisdom with the phenomenal Jo Worthy, the founder of the Worthy Women Movement. Welcome, Jo.
Thank you, Aldwyn. It is great to be here. And what a beautiful day to come in on International Women's Day and come in and talk about worth, wealth, and wisdom.
I can't wait to see how this conversation unrolls today. Now, you do have a very special event coming up this weekend on the Gold Coast, the Worthy Women's Summit. Now, can you tell us a bit about that before we get into your background story of how you were abused in relationships for 17 years and all the hardships that you have overcome? So before we get into your backstory, I really want to know more about what's happening this weekend for the Worthy Women's Summit.
Well, the Worthy Women's Summit, like you said, it is happening on the Gold Coast in Surfers Paradise at the Crown Plaza this weekend, and we've still got a couple of tickets left. But this is a major part of the Worthy Women movement, and we can talk more about that as we go along. But as far as the summit is concerned, it is like 2 days of absolute business wisdom, personal development, fun. We have 10 speakers from 4 different states of Australia. We have 2 soulful performers, so there's music as well, hopefully a little bit of dance, and women can have some fun, fully catered for, because we've got to eat. I'm a bit of a foodie, so everything that I do, there's sort of revolved around some form of food, lush gift bags as well, and just this beautiful experience for women to come in, connect back, stop that busyness. And most of us, if not all of us, are very good at looking after everybody else or going full steam in our businesses, or a bit of both. And this event is such a beautiful way to just stop and really gain some real clarity on where you're at and how you really feel about yourself as well, and what you can do to change to step more into your greatness as a woman. And that is what I'm really passionate about. And it matters what you've been through. We all have a powerful story, and we can sort of dig a bit deeper with that if you like, but we can get through. We can be incredibly resilient, step into our courage and change so we can create these amazing lives and step into our peace and our joy and our love, regardless of what has happened in the past.
I love that. And you've certainly had your challenges. Now, I'd love to know more about how you went from being abused in relationships for 17 years to now being a stand for worthy women and for this movement. How did that happen?
Well, I think it goes back to your worth. And for me, it did. I lacked a lot of self-worth. I needed to change my mindset. I needed to increase my worthiness. And I was attracting really abusive relationships, and not just relationships as well, but friendships, and really accepting what I call mediocrity. And it got to a point in my 40s, and I literally just said, I'm done. I have to change. I cannot continue to go down this path. I cannot. It sort of got to the stage where maybe I'm just not even relationship material, because I had some really good relationships, but I would leave them, whether they were good or bad, I would leave. And I felt like, and I say in my book, and we can talk about that too if you like, I say in my book, Love Worthy, that I sort of became this relationship rejecter. And I sort of like, I just got to the stage in my 40s, and I just sort of released, and I did some more work. I've been on this spiritual journey, since my early 20s, law of attraction, gratitude, forgiveness, some of the fundamentals that we often forget, by the way, and we overcomplicate. But going back to some of those fundamentals and realizing something clicked within me to realize that I had to change and stop those patterns, and that I was worth more, and that I might as well be on my own if I was going to continue to attract abuse. Now, something really interesting happened after my 3rd relationship that was abusive, and it was verbal. The third one was verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, until I decided to leave, and then he threatened me with my life, and he had some pretty nasty contacts. But I think that we all have within us what I call that warrior within us, and something clicked in within me. And I really encourage women, or anyone, if there's, I don't know what your audience is, or male, female, but I talk about women because I work with women and I'm a woman, obviously, but something clicked, and I just clicked into my bit more courage and said, I'm done. I'm not going to. And then he threatened me, and I just said, it's over. And within 12 months, this is the irony, I think I sort of relaxed and surrendered, and I went through lots of other layers of healing. It's sort of a very intricate process to go through, and it continues through our whole life, these intricate layers of healing. And within 12 months, I met my Mr. Worthy. And the irony is, that's his surname, Joe Worthy. Worthy is my married name. It's my real name. It's not a made-up name because I, specialize in worthiness and all about self-worth. That is my real name. And the irony is, I spent my whole life working on my self-worth. I finally decide I'm done in my 40s, and within 12 months, I meet my Mr. Worthy, and we're now married. We got married in 2017, so made it all official. But yeah, so it's such an interesting, when I look back, I go, wow, yeah, it was pretty brave. But I don't think I'm any more special than any other person. But I tell you what, I'm stubborn and I'm resilient, and I kept stepping into my courage. And that's now what I teach other people to do. And hopefully somewhere along the line, I've inspired people with my book and my events, and bring a bit more joy and peace and bliss into their lives.
Wow, I love that. And, resilience is a massive thing, I think, particularly through COVID. And in fact, I was at an International Women's Day breakfast this morning, and quite a few people were talking about resilience and about, diversity and about unity, and, and even like the term women now, we're so mixed up out there now that people don't know whether they're guys, girls, beings, what they are. No one wants to sort of identify with anything nowadays. It seems this upcoming generation, some people are even saying, well, I identify as a chair. I am a chair. So, it's interesting times now when it comes to International Women's Day. But resilience, whether you're male, female, or whatever you identify as, right? Whatever it is, resilience is something that we can all relate to as human beings.
Absolutely. And it's really not about, like, even the things that I talk about, it's not about gender anyway. It's like, we all go through moments of, grief, betrayal, frustration, anger, and even some of my experiences that I've been through. Not everyone's going to relate to the actual experience, but I tell you what, they'll relate to the feeling. Maybe that feeling of not being enough, that feeling of worthlessness, that feeling of being a failure. When you've gone through abuse, whether it be verbal, and let's talk about the word abuse. And I want to clarify that. Like, I was abused in every sense. I'm talking physically, sexually, emotionally, and financially. But some people say, and I don't know the stats on this, but they're probably quite alarming, that unfortunately most of us in our lives have attracted some sort of form of abuse. And a lot of the emotional abuse is very, and it's far too common. But so I just wanted to sort of say that abuse comes in all forms, really, and whether you're male or female, it's not a gender specific thing. It really isn't. Yeah,
absolutely. And it does go both ways. Absolutely. In fact, I was emceeing for an amazing women's shelter. It was actually for women, children and pets, and a few years ago, and there were a few guys in the audience. I was emceeing this event, and I was, saying that my heart went out to all the women who've been abused. However, also all the men also that have been abused, and it actually happens a lot to men as well. But of course, they don't talk about it as much because men are meant to be the strong ones,
particularly emotional abuse as well, particularly emotionally, which is just as damaging.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. And I'm sure most people have felt some form of abuse, whether it's mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, however that has looked. And so what can happen for people over time is that they tend to lose trust, right, in the opposite sex. And in, and we just had the Mardi Gras in Sydney. I was just down there actually, and they had the Mardi Gras parade. And a lot more people are choosing now to go same sex, even because they've got so many issues with the opposite sex, so to speak. But, each to their own when it comes to that. You know, I think we all want love, whatever form that comes in.
And
yeah, we're all looking for love.
And I say in my book, you know, and for me, you know, my preference is males, and I say that not all men are bastards. I had some amazing relationships, as in women are not, you know, I won't use that word, but, you know, it's just that human nature, there's good and bad in all of us. But I think the bottom line is, if you're attracting abuse, why are you attracting it? And how can you change that pattern? And how can you step into your worth as a woman or a man so you break that cycle? Because it often starts, I mean, I'm not coming from and I want to do this disclaimer, I'm not coming from a therapist perspective. I'm coming from someone who's a survivor and now a thriver. And like I said, I believe in the power of our minds. I believe that we can reprogram this powerful mind, and that we can actually start with liking ourselves at the very least. I mean, you're not going to go over, you know, it's not going to happen overnight. Oh, I love myself. I get that. It's a journey. And each day we can make a conscious decision to step into, you know, really honoring who we are, stopping that mean girl or that mean boy, reprogramming our powerful minds and starting to believe in ourselves and backing ourselves. So then, because then that's what I call an energetic reaction, because the universe, call it God, call it what you like, but it's like this exchange of energy. When you start valuing who you are, when you start believing in you, other people will too. And, you know, we had a quick discussion, didn't we, Aldwyn, at the very start about, I've often found that people have underestimated me and I like surprising them. But then I thought, well, really, how could I expect people to not do that if I was underestimating myself? So my big fear also that is not just the courage, is also soul purpose, and really reigniting. And this is what the event's about too, helping women to reignite their lives. And whether that be their business, their job, their career, maybe they're retired, they just need a boost of fun and direction, and, you know, maybe stepping into their creativity as well. Because I'm also a very passionate writer, and everybody, I believe, has got a book in them. I'm maybe a little bit biased because I do have a co-author book project happening at the moment, and we're onboarding authors. I'm actually in a collaborative project with the beautiful Charlie Fowles, who's from Ostrich 180, and she's also, so that's a publishing house, and she's also a book coach and a brand strategist. She's an amazing woman. So we're collaborating on this beautiful book project called Rising in Worth, Wealth and Wisdom. And this one here, I'll just grab this if you don't mind. This woman here, 10 months later, I've been planning the event for 12 months, and then I decided to create a movement. But I took 10 months to find this woman. I'm sorry about the reflection. She is the face of the Worthy Woman movement, and she's on the book, Rising in Worth, Wealth and Wisdom. So if anyone out there is listening and would love to be involved, it's a whole chapter. And like, don't we all have a story about worth, wealth or wisdom, or all of those things? And the good thing is, I think that Charlie and I are filling the gap, because there's a lot of, we know, you've been in lots, I've been in a few co-author books. This particular program, you get coached. Like, you get the book coaching, you come into a beautiful community of women. It's not like, oh, just write your chapter, edit it, and well, let's print it. There's all that weekly connection, and it's like a 9-month process. It's like birthing a baby. It's like 9 months later you can birth your book. We'll birth the book. But I'm really and maybe you don't want to write a book. Okay, I get that. But creativity is also very healing in itself, because it gets us back into our joy. If we're doing something that we love, and for me as a child, that's what I loved. I loved writing plays. I loved performing. And it was like a whole different world. And when you're in that space, you feel joy. You don't you don't feel fear. You don't feel anxious. So, but often we go or do we really go off our path? Because I think it's part of our destiny. But we lose sight of what brings us joy, and we get into the suffering, and we get into the misery. And just by changing even one thing, like what brings me joy? Is it writing? Is it painting? Is it creating something that's going to bring me joy? I get actually the women that I work with one-on-one, or even in my group programs, I do more group programs now, is I always get them to write up a joy list. And just it might be a matter of buying some fresh flowers and bringing beauty into their home. It could be going and having a coffee with a friend. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It could be coming to Bali, and I do run Bali retreats, and I love retreats. It could be that. It could be a big thing. And I want women, let's talk about women because I work with women. I want women to celebrate who they are. I want women to celebrate all those amazing milestones. And it's not even just a milestone. It could be just celebrating who they are as a woman and what they contribute to the world.
And celebrating life fully. I love that. And of course, for the men in our lives too, none of us would be here. None of the women would be here without the men as well. So celebrating life in general. And I think that's a huge thing. We've got Charlie with us, actually. She says, how gorgeous to have your own Mr. Worthy. And she says, yes, I agree, Jo. Our co-author book project is an amazing project for women. We're actually both at the International Women's Day breakfast this morning. Charlie is awesome. And she says here, creativity allows our mind to relax and tap into our true creation.
So Charlie is one of our speakers, and she's talking about writing a solar line book, but she's also a brand strategist. So she's talking about brand strategy and brand archetypes. And during the process of, creating this, I've created speaker weeks in my group, which is a free group, incidentally, that any women can join, the Worthy Women movement. And Charlie got her speaker week, and she did these beautiful writing moments. They're called dear moments, drop everything and write. And they were just incredible. I got involved because I love writing. And you tap into a part of yourself, that unconscious, subconscious, whatever you call it, and you don't edit and you just write. And we aligned that I already loved Charlie, and she came to my book launch 3 years ago, but we didn't know each other that well. I just knew that I liked her. It was just that I like this woman. Yes. And, she's wise and she's grounded, and, she's got a beautiful energy about her. But when that week we aligned at a whole new level, because it was like two women aligning, I'll talk about you and I too, because we spent 11 years, I know he said 11 hours when we first met. So you just align with this, that's a joy. When you align with another person, you just feel like, with Charlie and I, it was like creativity. And, she's a soulful woman as well. And you and I, we're creative as well. They're soul-aligned creative women. And let me tell you, the summit on the weekend, we're going to have over 50 women like that in the room. Can you imagine the energy? It's going to be incredible, because, that creativity, that passion, that wisdom. And when you bring that collective energy together, it's magnified. And you can't help but feel some sort of shift, good one. So I think when women come together in I call it a high vibrational space, that is where, and I know it's a little bit of a cliche to some people, but it is magical. And the magic can happen when it's in that sort of supportive environment where women are coming together and just like wanting to celebrate each other. It's not about, I think it's about collaborating and celebrating, and not comparing or competing. A little bit of healthy competition is okay here and there, but I'm talking about like the real nasty side of competition. That's not what I'm about. It's about bringing women together, celebrating each other, admiring other women, and being like, it's okay to be in awe of someone, but knowing that you have your own beautiful gifts. Every single person has that greatness within, but it's really part of our purpose in life is to tap into it, to strive towards reaching our highest potential. And writing my book 3 years ago, Love Worthy, this one here, that I tapped into something within me that was quite extraordinary. So I know that this is why I'm so passionate about it, because I know when I wrote this book and I published, everything changed. I mean, everything changed in my 40s when I said I'm done with the abuse, and I got out of that cycle. And then, a lot, there's all these ways, these pivotal times in our life, right? Well, another pivotal time was writing my book, because it just opened up a whole level of feeling proud of myself too. Running my first retreat, writing my book, like stepping into my own magnificence changed everything energetically for me. You can tell by my energy, I'm happier, I'm more vibrant. I'm not getting up in the morning going, is this it? I mean, that is sad if people are getting up. And I understand depression and I understand pain because I've been there. But every single person can change. They can change their mindset. They can bring in joy every single day of their life, and they can live an incredible life. It's never going to be perfect. Not that I should even use that word, because I mean, imperfection is perfect. But we don't have to sit in our misery. We don't have to sit in the past. The past is past, yeah?
Yes.
My book, like, 3 abusive relationships later, I've been on the ground. I've been to hell and back to come back out of that. When you've been abused in any way, it's tough. But when it's sexual and it's violent and it's emotional and it's also financial, you are stripped bare. You got a choice. You got a choice. So I had a 4-year-old daughter to bring up at the time as well. It was 2 weeks before Christmas, and I think I've said this in certain publications. It was 2 weeks before Christmas, and I had no house, no job, no money. I'd been cleaned out completely financially. But you know what? This is where gratitude comes in, and I love what you do about people getting into their gratitude and the work that you're doing and spreading the good news, because I'm all about that. Now, here I am, a woman who felt like in many ways she'd lost everything. She's like gone, she's in hell at that time. But I was still grateful because I was lucky enough. Now, I could have been homeless at that point. If I didn't have a mother, if I didn't have a grandmother or family that supported me, everything was like financially ripped from me. And I was quite a wealthy woman in my early 30s. Wealthy as owning houses, property, money in the bank. I was 33 years of age and I owned everything, had no debt. Okay. So we should never be complacent. We should appreciate everything we have. And yes, no matter whether you're down there, like you feel like you're a complete worthless failure, which I did at the time, you can rebuild. And there's always things that we can be grateful for. I mean, now if Nelson Mandela can forgive, I think we can forgive after what happened to him. And, people that have survived the Holocaust. There's been horrible things in history where people have just, their mindset has set them free. Their gratitude has set them free. Their forgiveness has set them free. So that's what I want to also be talking about on Saturday when I'm also speaking at the event, about just some of these fundamentals that we forget. Having the gratitude, no matter, I could have just become a victim, stayed in the victim mentality. But I had a daughter to bring up. I went and got a job. I was lucky enough to get a house through the help of my family, and I rebuilt. And that's not to dilute anyone's pain that is currently going through it, but I just want to be an advocate for people that we can change and that we can bring joy in. And it's a process, but keep just doing the work on yourself. Changing your mindset, believing more in yourself, and changing those patterns so you stop attracting it in the first place and know that you're worth more than that. You're worth so much, and no one deserves to be abused.
100%. Well said. Now we have Jeff here. Jeff's with us. He says, have a great day, ladies. We salute you. Thank you so much, Jeff Veal. Charlie's made a few more comments here. Thank you, Charlie. She says, woohoo, the energy is going to explode in a magnificent vibration.
I love her language. Magnificent vibration.
I love it. It's almost orgasmic, isn't it? That's brilliant. And then we've
deliciously divine, in actual fact.
Deliciously divine. And then we've got Robert here. Robert Mull. Happy International Women's Day, ladies. Thank you so much. We've got and Charlie says, I love that about you, Joe. You gather women and create a vortex of celebration. Oh, beautiful.
Celebration is so important. It's part of what I do, like, creating these events and my retreats is bring in fun and celebration, and don't take life too seriously. We go through serious, can I swear? Serious shit. Okay, we do. I won't say any other words. We go through serious stuff, but we can't get too serious about ourselves. I laugh at myself. I've kept my sense of humor. There's some really amazing people in this world, and we're all just trying to do the best that we can, but you're going to align with different people. And this is the key. This is one of my keys that I talk about when I talk about in my keynote, is that we've got to stop being people pleasers. We've got to stop worrying about what other people think of us. Because when we stop worrying, it's so freeing and allows us to step even more into our purpose. You know, if I
Absolutely.
was worrying about what other people thought, I would never have published a tell-all book. It's pretty raw and real, and it's also a self-help guide, so it's a two-way thing. But I remember when I was about to publish this book, and I go, OMG. I don't know whether I can publish this. I'm going to feel so naked, like emotionally naked. It's like all my vulnerabilities are in here. And, you know, the queen of vulnerability and shame is Brené Brown. And I was, and I do, you know, I listen to a lot of YouTube, inspirational YouTube videos. So much is available. Good stuff's available on the internet. And
Yes.
I remember her quote, and I've said it in my book as well. If you are not in the arena getting your ass, I'll say it in the American way, your ass kicked, feedback. And I thought, you know what? I don't want your feedback if you're going to judge me. And you know what? At the end of the day, I was scared of judgment. I was scared of I was scared of being rejected and not accepted. And guess what? People did reject me. People didn't accept me. You know, there were like friends that are friends, but you know what? They're fake friends. It sorts out when you step into your authenticity and you follow your soul path and you stop people pleasing. Let me tell you, the right people will stay with you. When I say the right people, the people you align with, the people that at least like you. You know, you don't want to be hanging out with people who are going to drag you down and really don't like you. Why bother? You know, in certain circumstances, we have to be around and socialize. And there's certain people that they may not like you and you may not like them. You respect them as a human being. You can still show them love and maybe not love, but compassion and kindness. But they're just people. And when we stop worrying, you know, one of my biggest fears was speaking on stage, public speaking. Now I'm a keynote speaker. I speak about courage. How funny about that. And someone who was like, I spent 40 years too scared to even put my hand up to ask a question, not even speak on stage. Oh, my God, I would have been rather deaf than speak up on stage. But I stepped into my courage. I kept stretching I call it a courage muscle. And so I got into my 40s and, you know, like many of us, we spent thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on personal development, business development, conferences, seminars, you name it. I set myself a challenge. And I said, well, every time I go into a public arena, I'm going to put my hand up and ask a question. And I was like shaking in my shoes, but I did it. And then I started volunteering on stages and I would have panic attacks. I'm talking full-on panic attacks, sweating, heart racing, wanting to race to the toilet. Not great timing when you're about to go onto a stage.
I know.
And there's been some funny moments. However, I kept stepping into my courage, which we all know what most of us, you know, courage is about feeling the fear because it's about fear, but doing it anyway. And it's like, well, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to keep stepping into my fear. I'm going to acknowledge it. It's there. I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And now that I don't really worry whether people like me or accept me, it takes the whole pressure off. And at the end of the day, if you're in a room of 100 people and only 10 people like you, concentrate on those people. Concentrate on those 10 or even those 5. It's about quality. It's not about quantity. And not everyone, you could be the whatever that may be, you could be an absolute saint, an angel. There's people that aren't going to like you, people that don't like your energy, and it's perfectly okay.
Absolutely. Yes, I love that. And what we resist persists, my friends. What we resist persists. And remembering too that hurt people. So usually the ones that are being nasty are usually not living great lives or not very happy with their lives. And they see that you're happy and you're out there and you're living your love and you're taking life on with gusto and you're fully living life. So you're fully alive, right? What you mentioned joy earlier. What brings us joy? What is it that lights you up so you feel fully alive doing those things? So, I think about things like For me, it's the beach, yoga, playing my ukulele,
Mm.
dancing, singing,
Mm.
networking, doing interviews like this. I feel fully alive, right? What is it for you that you feel fully alive? And if you're not living in that fully alive place for the majority of the time, and of course, we're going to have times where we sink down to some low places where we're going to feel like crap sometimes, right? That's just part of the journey. However, the thing is, when we do go into those low places, usually there's some kind of learning. And the quicker we get that learning, the quicker we get whatever it is that we need to learn in that moment. It could be just that you need some time to rest. Maybe you've just been,
Yes.
pushing it a bit hard on both ends for a while. And, maybe it's time to just take some time out sometimes. And so really tuning into your body, listening to your body, and acting courageously despite what other people think. As you say, you've said this repeatedly, and I think it's absolute gold, because so many people out there that I've come across in the world of media training, people say, oh yeah, I want to get in the media, but not yet. Like, first I got to get the website done, the sales, to get this done and that done. And then meanwhile, another 5-10 years goes past and they still haven't done anything, right? And so what that is just fear. So face the fear, take action. And and it does take a certain amount of resilience, and I think doing that inner work, that self-love work. And in fact, I've invested $500,000 on my personal and business development since 2005, and just recently I went to a self-love weekend. I spent a whole weekend with the Self-Worth Warriors out near Gin Gin, 2 of our Mass Media Mastery members. We've got Colette and Andrew out near Gin Gin, and it was a phenomenal weekend. And ever since that, one of the challenges they gave us was to take on a practice of looking at yourself in the mirror every day and doing some I am statements. And so I do it now when I brush my teeth. For anyone who knows Atomic Habits, I brush my teeth and I look in the mirror and I say, I am beautiful, I am love, I am courageous, I am whatever it is, whatever comes to mind. And so really building that muscle, as you say, of courage and that self-love is so, so important. And this is what we're talking about today, is how to rise in worth, wealth, and wisdom. So what are some other practices that you do, Jo, to build your own worth?
Well, it's interesting, as you're talking about the I am statements and the mirror work, I've got Louise's Hey Mirror here. It's like a pack with the affirmation cards. And incidentally, I'm letting out some secrets. Everyone's going to get a beautiful Louise Hey affirmation card in their gift bag. But this is a mirror that says life loves you. So I started with the mirror work in my 20s and started reprogramming my mind and the I am statements. And I've actually written, I'm going to release it on the weekend, so I can't give too much away, but I will say it's related to I am statements. And it's about the face of the worthy woman. So, so definitely, I'm a big advocate for the law of attraction, reprogramming my mind. Getting other people to sort of think about consciously what their language is like about themselves, and stopping that mean girl syndrome or that mean boy, and also really coming back to what brings you joy. There's a whole lot of other levels, like I spoke about forgiveness and gratitude before. There is other levels that, something else just went through my crazy creative mind and it's gone, but that's okay, it'll come back. But there's so many, it's a holistic approach. And self-care, self-care fits under that worth umbrella, but it fits under wealth as well, because wealth also means, to me, good health. And self-care fits under the self-love umbrella, but it all starts at your worth. It then translates really, or transmutes through to your wealth, whether it be financial wealth, relationship wealth, health wealth. And that's been a big journey. And then I believe that we all have this innate wisdom we can step into. But let's go back to the wealth, because we spoke a lot about worth. So the first thing is really work on your worth, and those practices, those fundamentals, because the question you asked me is, what are my practices? The I am statement, reprogramming my mind, stepping into my joy, and increasing my self-care practices. Now, even at times when my life seemed like hell, I was really good at going to retreats. So that was a really good self-care from a body care perspective. But self-care comes from a holistic perspective, heart, mind, body, soul. So I was really good with some of those body care things and getting massages. And I'm a bit of a high maintenance girl. I like to get my lashes done, my hair colored, my nails, pedicures. But that's just such a minute part of self-care. Self-care covers so many different things. And for me, my body was neglected. So let's go. It's sort of this all interrelates really from your work to your wealth to your wisdom, yeah? And with the wealth, let's talk about the health and part of self-care as well. So it all sort of fits under together, is that my body was neglected. So I have changed my eating habits. I now exercise 5 to 6 times a week. I go for walks. I live near the beach, which is beautiful, but I love the mountains and the beach. I live near the beach. I go for these beautiful, go for walks on the boardwalk 5 times a week, and really get into that, getting my heart rate up, come back and have a swim. And now I'm actually, for the first time in my life, and I'm in my 50s, that I'm actually enjoying exercise. I'm enjoying it, and it's like
amazing.
And I say to a lot of my clients, and even in my keynotes, I talk about getting out the anger. Anger's fine. Like let's acknowledge our anger. Let's not suppress it, but get it out of your body and dance it out, sing it out, write it out, walk it out, yoga it out, whatever you do. And see, that's one thing I was missing. I would do the creative stuff, but the embodiment of releasing it from my body, at a whole different level of exercise. So, that's helped me too. It's not one thing. It's such an intricate, there's so many different beautiful layers, that's why another reason why I use roses as one of my symbols, because it's, the beautiful feminine layers of a woman, the intricate layers. And, there's so many different elements to creating more worth and wealth and wisdom in our life, and combining having that holistic view as well.
I love that. You've given some brilliant tips there, and we have some more amazing comments here. And for those who are joining us live, thank you so much for joining us. Please let us know, what are your top tips to rise in worth, wealth, and wisdom? What do you do? Do you have daily practices? What do you do in your life that you've noticed has worked well for you to build your own worth, your own wealth, and your own wisdom? All right, we've got Dana here. She says, hello, Jo. Your story is inspiring. Jo, beautiful, Dana. And so part of the proceeds are going to global glamping charities,
yes,
as well, from the Worthy Women Summit. So can we share a little bit about that, the global glamping charities?
Yeah, well, glamping charities is actually helping homelessness in all forms. And it was actually, and they do it in 3 different components, but they the thing that really attracted me with what I've been through is helping people through that have suffered from domestic violence, and they become homeless. So I was with my background, that was I was really passionate about helping in some way. My belief is that it's very sad that I don't think we should have any homelessness in Australia, but unfortunately we do, and it's risen. And any sort of contribution is it all counts. One ripple at a time. Let's all make a difference. So I aligned with Global Glamping Charities because they do help the homelessness. And, meeting Dana was an absolute bonus because she's their national marketing manager. And she's just a dynamo. And at the event, where Dana and I have been working on actually amazing lucky door prizes, and all the proceeds of the lucky door prizes will go back to the charity. And there's different elements within the charity too that Dana will explain at the event. And, she's the ambassador of the charity. But yeah, really, really excited for the whole, not just the summit on the weekend, the Worthy Women Summit, the whole Worthy Women movement has aligned with Global Glamping Charities. You could probably put the link with Global Glamping Charities down below at some point, Aldwyn, so people can actually have a look at their charity and what they're doing, the great work that they're doing in Australia. Sure. But we've also aligned with the co-author book project as well. So the proceeds of all the book will go back to the charity. So any way that we can help, and every year I'm running a summit, there'll be co-author book projects every year as well. And, if there's other ways that we can assist with homelessness, and particularly with Global Glamping Charities, which is our charity of choice, happy to explore other different options as well.
Fantastic. Yes, very excited. And in fact, the press release is up on the globalglamping.org website. So thank you to Dana for that. We love Dana. She's absolutely brilliant. She says, hello, Aldwyn, as always, sharing inspirational people with the world. Thank you, Dana. Charlie says, OMG, yes, when we release and not live in fear, we become unstoppable. Absolutely. Charlie says,
yeah, and that used to be one of my keynotes, becoming unstoppable in life, because I tell you what, when we step into that warrior, that fierceness within us all, that Eye of the Tiger, I call it. I love that song.
Yes.
It sort of gives away my age. Great song from the 80s, Eye of the Tiger. And anyway, but when we connect to that, it's like we can just when we're clear about what we really want, what brings us joy and our soul purpose, that will change your whole energy. It changes everything. And you can become unstoppable in your striving towards reaching your full potential. You're stepping into your greatness. You become unstoppable. Like, we will get challenges. Like, it's the whole hero's journey. Yeah. We get so many challenges thrown at us. And unfortunately for some people, they worry too much about judgment, acceptance. People don't like me. People are being mean. People are being cruel. And unfortunately, that's life at times. And we've got to step on. We've got to put our courage pants on. And we've got to be fierce sometimes as a woman, still feminine. I believe in being still feminine as a woman, but fierce with our boundaries, and do not, I think about the warrior pose in yoga. I'm not a big yogi, but I do sun salutations and a few yoga poses, and I do them in the pool. The neighbours probably think, what on earth is that woman doing? I'm in the pool doing my warrior pose because I want to keep my eye focused on my priorities, and I want other people to realise, stop worrying about sweating the small stuff. Good book. Sweating the small stuff, getting caught up in drama karma, getting caught up in other people's drama, creating drama after drama and getting involved in it all. And it's wasting your energy, your valuable energy, your juicy, delicious energy, where you could be writing or creating or doing some amazing project to reignite your life. So there's just, we could, there's a lot of things we could be talking about. There's many things I'm talking about. There's many things I want to share to the world.
It's awesome. It's awesome. We'll keep chatting and we'll get it all out here as much as we can in the next 20 minutes or so. Charlie says consciously living, she recommends.
Yes. I actually, thank you, darling, because I used to say conscious conversations with yourself, because some people aren't conscious. Let's go back to the worth. Some people aren't conscious of their language, and I prompt people and go, well, what do you say about yourself? What do you think about yourself? And they become conscious. Now, I lived an unconscious life for many years because I would eat too much. I never had an alcohol or a drug addiction, but I like to gamble, and I'm not anti-gambling, but not be out of control and going to the ATM every 5 seconds. That's out of control. So I'm not anti-food. I mean, God, no, I'm a foodie. I love food. I'm not anti-food. I'm not anti-gambling. I'm not anti-drinking. I love it. Love these days it's a G&T or gin and soda. I'm not anti those things, but I think that it's very easy to mask our problem, our pain is probably a better word, with some form of addiction. Maybe it's watching too much TV. Maybe it's eating too much. Maybe it's drinking too much. Maybe it's taking, too many pharmaceuticals. Maybe it's taking recreational drugs. Maybe it's something, and many, many, many people have some form of addiction to mask their pain, and they go into that pattern of unconscious living. And it's so, thank you for that prompt, Charlie, because I'm all about conscious living now. And sometimes that means being really honest with yourself, having those really honest conversations with yourself and not fooling yourself, because really being truthful, you're all about truth in your truth show as well. Being truthful. None of us, we're doing that. Most of us are doing the best that we can. None of us are this perfect, whatever that is. I don't even like that word, but I've used it twice today. But it's like imperfection is perfect. The Virgos out there will love that. I'm being a bit flippant now. Where was I going with that? Conscious living and conscious conversations, because it's so easy. It seems easy to actually just numb yourself out and not live consciously. But in the end, I believe that the universe is going to bite you on the bum at some point and go, come on. It was like me. Come on, Joe, wake up. You need to change. You cannot continue to attract abuse in your life. Don't you think you're worth more than that? So we've got to be accountable. We have got to be willing to change our life.
Yes.
And go, my life sucks, but what can I do about it? Or what am I still grateful for? Even when your life sucks, what am I still grateful? Because gratitude is extremely powerful.
Absolutely. And you know what? Something gives me joy is this yes button.
Yeah, baby. Well,
yes, baby.
Yes.
Give me a Y.
Give me an E. Give me a yes. Yes. Oh, I love this. love this conversation. Conscious living is so, so, so important. You look around often, there's a lot of people, I'd say 80-20 rule, like Pareto's principle. 80% of people, I would say, are walking around like dead people. They just they are soulless almost. Well, they've got souls, but it's like they're walking around. They can't wait for Friday to come. They dread Mondays, you know, and it's sad to watch, you know. It is really sad to watch. And look, we all have stuff, as you say, we've all had or have addictions. And I know I've had food addictions, I've had alcohol addictions, I've had drug addictions, I've had shopping addictions, I've been a workaholic, shopaholic, you know, like even those kind of things, like just getting conscious around that. And all these things I've sort of, you know, this consumer society, like this stuff will give me joy, you know. And food was such a big thing in our family, being European, you know, Greek, Turkish, Ukrainian background. We showed love with food. And so I know that I've had some addictions there, and I've been emotionally eating at times. However, you know, what I love is one of the mentors I had over the years is a guy called Ben Harvey from Authentic Education. And Ben said there's 3 steps to healing. The first step is awareness. So first to be actually aware of what you're conscious of what your addictions may be. The second thing is to accept it without making yourself wrong, right? Without making yourself wrong. Actually go, okay, all right, well, I've been doing this, and does that really serve my higher good? And if it doesn't, and if you do want to take life to the next level rather than live in that drama hook, as they say in Money and You, they call it a drama hook, that some people just love drama. And in fact, we've been conditioned to love drama, actually, and watch the Out of Shadows documentary if you don't know what I'm talking about.
So they'll create drama.
Exactly. So there's awareness, then there's acceptance, and the third step to healing is appreciation. So when you come to a point of, okay, I actually really like, rather than sort of forgiving yourself or forgiving others, because that's still making yourself wrong or making them wrong in some ways, actually coming to a point of appreciation, which is lifting up rather than depreciating, appreciating everything that has brought you to this point, right? Nothing will change the past. However, what you do now will change your future, and it's all about living your fullest life in the present moment. And really that's what I see is to, you know, to fully rise in your worth, wealth, and wisdom is to be fully present and conscious in the moment, and listening to people, truly listening. You know, that's a big art form in itself.
And the other thing is turning our lessons into blessings. People will teach us the most about ourselves. You know, if you felt, and I'll give you an example, maybe you felt not accepted, maybe a whole community's sort of gone against you or something, or you felt bullied, maybe you've been bullied. But those people are really giving you an awareness of a part of you that needs to be healed. Because if you're still getting triggered, that means a part of you needs healing. And so they're giving us an opportunity to have this much deeper awareness and also step into our courage as well. And then that opens up a whole host of beautiful, amazing, incredible possibilities and gets you out of the misery when you start going, thank you. Now, you may not do it immediately. You know, I'm a bit vocal. I have very colourful language. But, you know, and I get it out and I vent it, and you know, my poor husband sometimes has to put up with that. And it's like, I just got to talk. I've got to vent. I've got to get it out. I've got to write it. I've got to speak it. I now walk it out as well and swim it out, but get it out. Like, really. I was going somewhere else with that. But, I've forgotten what I was going to say.
We'll go through some more comments. So thank you, Dana, for putting that link in there. worthywealthywisewoman.com if you want to find out more about the summit this weekend. 10 speakers from 4 states, fully catered event at the Crown Plaza Surfers Paradise. Is going to be absolutely awesome. And Dana's put in here ostrich180.com/rising-women co-author book, and I'm looking forward to being in that book myself. That's going to be amazing. I love co-author books. I think this would be number 17 or 18. I've actually lost count. I'll go back one day and count all the compilation books I'm in, but they are brilliant for exponential marketing and talk about creating a baby together with a whole lot of other phenomenal people who are all promoting the book out to their people. It's going to be brilliant. So how can people get involved with that book? So they go to that website there, and
Charlie's website, and Charlie and I can they can even make an appointment with Charlie, and then Charlie and I'll get onto a Zoom call if you've got any questions. And like I said before, we are onboarding authors. There'll be 26 in total, a chapter each, which is approximately 3,000 words. So if you've got a story out there that is to do with worth, wealth, or wisdom, we'd love to sort of have a chat. about it. Let's explore it. Let's, feel into whether it's right for you, whether it's right for us, because we want this energy to really stay in this beautiful energy of just beautiful collaboration and celebration, I suppose, is a beautiful word. Women to come together as well and really feel part of this journey together and to help each other. And then you've got the incredible Charlie in the background, book coaching as well, and the publisher. So, and we're all creatives and we're all authors together. So it'll be this beautiful, gorgeous synergy as well. And you're not just being left behind. You get all the beautiful, not just the collective energy of the group, but all Charlie's expertise as well. So, just click on that website. Either if you're on my socials, you're on Charlie's social, send us a PM. Happy to sort of, to chat further about it. Absolutely. Brilliant. It's a big part. It's a big part of the movement as well. Of course, we've got the summit. We want women to really, really come along to that if you can. Like, we've only got limited tickets available for the summit. And that was like the first part of the movement, was to create this summit. And, the beautiful book project is a wonderful addition. But I also run the Bali retreats. And I'm actually I've got one in June with a few places available. So if you love retreats, I'm all about bliss. So my retreats are called Bali Bliss retreats. And they're just full of bliss, really, massages and sound healings and beautiful, going out to great restaurants and just women coming together and, a little bit of, sightseeing, but not much, rice terraces and maybe one beautiful temple. But, lots of beautiful nurturing and nourishing, heart, mind, body, spirit. It's going to be amazing. I actually know a few women that live in Bali, so we've got some sacred heart meditations happening, and we're going off to the pyramids of Chi. And I know all the good restaurants we're going to Ubud. I know all the good restaurants in Ubud, so we'll be going out for lunches and dinners, and just a beautiful group of women. And it's a private villa experience, so there's only going to be 11 of us, so not a really massive group either. And I know it'll be divine. And so if you're interested, reach out to me for that as well. So this whole movement, is just about whether you work with me or, whether you want to come into the free community, whether you want to come to the summit, whether you want to be part of the book project, whether you want to come to Bali. It's all about celebrating women and coming back into our own greatness and really stepping up our self-care practices as well, bringing more joy in, but striving towards our greatest potential. We need to stop. We actually need to stop sometimes and stop that busyness. That that life can get busy, let's face it. It can.
Yes.
So, but the whole intention of the movement is for women to really rise in their worth and their wealth and their wisdom, but to really, really, really start believing more in themselves and step into their courage and follow their soul purpose. And in any way that you work with me, I can help in any, the summit's got a different energy to a retreat and the book project. So I believe there's something, that most women can relate to, at least one of those three things. And that the movement is really going to help many, many women. And I think this is just the start of it. So, and, beautiful Aldwyn and Charlie and Jenna's going to be there too. This is just a beautiful collective energy already, but this is just the start of the movement. This is exciting. And I've always said all the way along, when you come into even the free group, you're part of the collective energy and things start to change energetically. So it's very exciting that the summit that I have been working on passionately, creatively, diligently, courageously is now coming to fruition on the weekend. So a couple of tickets left. If you're on the Gold Coast particularly, or you're in southeastern Queensland or any part of Australia, you want to pop on a plane, come and join us on the Gold Coast. Aldwyn's going to be there. Denna's going to be there. Charlie's going to be there, like 10 speakers, beautiful sound healings and food and lush gift bags. Like, who wouldn't want to be there? Really?
Exactly.
Who wouldn't want to be part of that 2 days of bloody awesomeness and deliciousness?
It's going to be awesome. Charlie says, I can't wait for the summit. Absolutely, Charlie.
And it's not just fluffy stuff here. I mean, I talk about the fun and I talk about, but it's about changing in some way to improve your mindset, your life in some way. Stepping into your greatness is like a huge shift. It's just one thing. Maybe you make one change, massive change to improve your life, then it's completely worth it. You might connect with, beautiful women and have lifetime friendships, or you might make some great business connections and collaborations. There is so much, and I think that during this weekend that women can get can draw from it. But I think that each individual woman will have a different experience and get different things from it. But there's so much goodness and empowerment and inspiration and motivation. So come along. In actual fact, I've got a special deal. There's only a couple of tickets left, but if you want to come along with a friend, you can get 50% off your second ticket as well. So
oh wow.
We hope that you can come and join us with a couple of tickets left. You never know. We might see you on the Gold Coast in the Phoenix Room, 9:00 on Saturday morning, and I'll be ready. And our theme song is Brave. Beautiful Sarah Bareilles, Brave. So say what you want to say and let the words fall out.
Oh, I love it. And the gift bags, over $1,000 worth of goodies in the gift bags as well.
And it's not just like vouchers and things like that. We've got real beautiful products in there as well. So, but let me tell you, I mean, Aldwyn, I'm going to use you as an example, darling. You're giving away like a $500 prize, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
For the raffle, and then some
yes.
of that. Sorry, there's two things here. There's the gift bags and there's the raffles. But I know with the raffle, you're giving away quite a great prize as well. And the gift bags have lots of beautiful things in them. Yeah, over $1,000 in value, which the event is, like that value is worth more in that bag than the event itself. It's a bit of a no-brainer. If you can get to the Gold Coast, Surfers Paradise on the weekend and stop, do something for yourself, invest in yourself, and be around the other incredible women that will hold this beautiful space and share your own wisdom as well. That's what it's this gorgeous collective energy. And this, it's just going to be, I can feel it. Can you feel it?
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited. And you don't have to cook or clean, right? You come and get
it's complicated. I mean, we don't do the dinners, but I'll tell you what, after morning tea, lunch and afternoon tea, that will, and then it'll be lovely. It really will be. I mean, the food's a good component too, but it's more the connections and the face-to-face connection and the community and women, community and connection is how women can all rise together, I believe.
Yes. And honestly, the lineup you've got is phenomenal. We've got She de Montfort, we've got Kelly Lowry, we've got Denna and myself from the Gold Coast, we've got Charlie Fells from Brisbane, who we've been chatting to here. We've got yourself from the Sunshine Coast now. You've escaped Melbourne on the Sunshine Coast.
Have.
Liesl Albrecht from Country Victoria. We've got MC speaker Sondre Kallick from Melbourne. We've got PJ Ashley from ACT and Vanessa Lovell from Yass, New South Wales. And also soulful performances by sound healer Michelle Guho. Is that how we say it? Guho?
Yeah, Michelle Renee. Just call her Michelle Renee.
Michelle Renee. And a musician sound healer as well, Mignon Lee Warden from Wollongong.
Yes, and she's our sound manager, but she's also a musician. She'll be doing some chanting. She'll be bringing out the guitar, and then beautiful Michelle's going to be doing a sound healing as well. And just to note that we've now got Callie as the MC. So Callie Lowry is a Gold Coast woman. She's a powerhouse, and she is going to be leading the show with her MCing. And I know that she will do a brilliant job. But the women, the diversity of the women, which I love that we're all got these different personalities, but we can all come together and, and really just be in this beautiful, high energy, empowering, motivating space. So I think it's going to be brilliant. I certainly have put all my heart and soul into making sure that that it is going to be. And I actually feel it. I can really feel it. I think it's going to be incredible 2 days. And I'm just blessed that Aldwyn's part of it, and she'll be talking about, how to get free publicity, which is amazing. And then, like I've spoken about Charlie as well with the book project and the brand archetypes. So some really good things. We've got, artists there, we've got mystics there, we've got intuitive coaches. We've got lots of creativity, creative women are there too, but even women that don't think they're creative, maybe they run a business. Maybe they're an accountant. I actually have got an accountant coming, actually. So I don't want to pigeonhole people too much, because I think that many women are going to get so much out of this weekend. And, if you're in a job or you're retired, you need a bit more fun and a bit more motivation, and you want to just reignite some part within you. This summit is for you.
Yes. Absolutely love it. And we've got Charlie's giving a tip there about, she says, absolutely 100% self-awareness is where it's at. We've got Hinamoa here, Nick, high-fiving myself every morning, even if I think I look and feel ugly. She still high-fives herself. Nice one, Hinamoa. I love that. And we've got the link for globalglamping.org. You can check out the full press release there for more details. High five, babe. You got this, she says to herself. She says she loves Joe's story, loves your story. She says, absolutely, such a beautiful flow. Joe is so correct. Being conscious, I call out my BS thoughts. Charlie says, yes.
Well, we're so hard on ourselves, can't we? Right? Really? How can we expect other people to like us if we don't even like ourselves? Really?
Yes. And watching those comments, I hear quite a few people say, oh, I'm such an idiot, I did this. I'm such an idiot, I did this.
Oh, it's like a habit. A habit that we need to change, by the way.
Yes. So just notice, as first step is awareness.
And I have to call out my BS thoughts too. You know, like if you're attracting misery in your life, well, what are you telling yourself? What do you think? What are your beliefs about yourself?
Exactly. Hinamoa says, beautiful words of love. Thank you. Charlie says, I've had an academic study addiction. Oh, yes.
Yeah, our beautiful educator, Charlie's the next teacher. What a blessing she was to all those students with her creative, beautiful, grounding energy. So a lot of students would have been very sad the day that you retired from the education department, Miss Charlie.
Yes. And I've been a seminar junkie too, might I add there.
Yes.
Seminar junkie.
We can get to the stages, and this is a really important point if you're in business. We can just overdo let me do that course, I'm going to buy that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do, and it's like, and half the things we don't even finish. I've done that, like online stuff, like, you've got to really feel into it. And I do online programs, but I want women to be, reignite their lives, in an online sense as well, which is amazing what we can do online and amazing what we did over these last few years. I was running online sessions after, I had clients in Melbourne, and it was their highlight for the week because I was shut down for so many times. So, Zoom can be great and online can be great, but
yes, absolutely.
Human connection. Sometimes it can be online. Face-to-face is probably the best form of connection, though.
Yes, which is going to be brilliant to have a face-to-face event here on the Gold Coast.
And to finish off what I was saying is to stop and think, like, there's a point in our life, in our businesses, where we have to say stop. We've done so many different courses. I had to stop getting a coach for a while because it was just, and then I've had one for the last 12 months, but prior to that, I had a 2 or 3 year break from having a coach. And I'm a big advocate for getting mentors and coaches, but like, just take stock if you're overdoing it. And we're all wise, we're all intuitive, but you just need to connect to that part of you and go, am I overdoing it?
Yes, exactly. And just,
said you were as well.
Exactly. And taking time or making time to actually self-nurture has been a huge thing for me without feeling guilt around it, because there's always going to be more to do in business, right? So actually to take some time to go to the beach, or do yoga or get a massage or whatever it is to fill your own cup up so you can help others with the overflow. So just notice if you're doing that and if you have any guilt around it. Just notice, right? And then, let that go, because it's so important to nurture it. The ripple effect of that, affects your whole family, your clients, everyone around you when you step up in life, to be the example.
This is one of the busiest weeks, like, of my business, with an event coming up on the weekend, but I still took time out to get some, personal appointments, went to the chiropractor. Yesterday I got into the pool. It was the middle of the day. It's a little bit hot in southeastern Queensland at the moment. It's a bit humid. And like flat out, but it's like I had to stop. I just got in the pool, 10, 15 minutes. I was out again. It refreshed me, and you can actually become more productive when you actually stop. Sometimes it's like that. I think Denise Dufford Thomas says that, and she's written, The Chillpreneur, and she's written Get Rich, Lucky Bitch. She said you got to slow down to speed up, something like that. Don't quote me on that exact quote, but I like that concept, because sometimes, and I know I'm a very proactive, productive person, and sometimes, but I do believe in meditation. So sometimes, and now exercising, I stop and I make time to go for a swim or a walk or meditate. because we cannot be completely just going. We're going to burn out. And this is really important for anyone listening to this. Please, like, this is your life. Your life is precious and you are precious. And self-care, that's why I love retreats, because you completely take time out, but don't just wait for a retreat. Have your own mini retreats at home and make sure that you're actually looking, spending some time just for you and on what's not just going to bring you joy, but get you out of your head, back to your heart, and have some relaxation, because otherwise we'll burn out.
Absolutely. Yeah, love it, love it. And so does Hinamoa here. She's got love it there. We've got Charlie's given us a few little smiley dudes emojis there with love hearts for eyes. Beautiful. We've got beautiful there. Link, please. We've got the link for anyone who is listening to this, worthywealthywisewoman.com. Worthywealthywisewoman.com. Okay, pop that in the chat there. We've been chatting for an hour, Joe. Yes, it's interesting. You were saying, is this going to go for an hour? Oh yeah, we can chat. We can chat. Yeah. And we can keep on chatting about this topic. I love this topic. Any other tips around how to rise in worth, wealth, and wisdom?
Look, I just think, as a summary of all the things that I think I've given a lot of tips throughout the last hour, and it's really, step into your courage, stop worrying about what other people think, keep doing your mirror work or your I am statements, keep believing in yourself, keep reprogramming your mind, do not sit in your misery, forgive. Nelson Mandela says you cannot heal until you forgive. So go through some beautiful forgiveness practices, stay in your gratitude, stay in your abundance energy, and just really be accountable and make changes. If your life is not working, what can you do to change? And be courageous. Keep stepping into your courage, and then really think about what brings you joy. So I've said a few things there. I've really summed up all the goal that I've been talking about, because it's not rocket science, and we can overcomplicate our lives to improve it. And don't give up. No, ever, ever, ever give up on your dreams. And if you have to, play some motivational music, put on Eye of the Tiger. Let me tell you, do some bloody warrior poses in the pool, or do your normal yoga stretches. Do what it takes to stay on your path and honor who you are and what you really is going to light you up.
Love that. Love that. And have some fun. I've got Wonder Woman here. Wonder Woman reminds me that we all have Wonder Woman characteristics inside us, right? And Wonder Woman stood for truth. She stood for justice, right? And, some of us might see her as superhuman. However, we all have some characteristics. And I have a love heart right here too, to remind me that I am love, I am loved, I am loving, that we are all, in fact, love, that we are abundant love. And there is no scarcity except in our mind. And an open heart is 5,000 times more powerful than a closed mind. And so with the 50 or so women we're going to have there at the summit this weekend, it's going to be absolutely extraordinary. I cannot wait. Thank you so much, Joe. You've worked on this for a year. Unbelievable. And, the first Worthy Women Summit, here it is, coming up, just a few spots left. If you want to join us, come along here. Here it is, worthywealthywisewoman.com. And if you want to get 2 tickets, the second one is half price, which is insane. So that would just cover your catering, basically. A fully catered event, over $1,000 of goodies in the gift bags. And the tickets are around 600, is that right? 600.
Yeah, 597 for the first ticket, and then half is 297. I think we do the math, 298 on the second tickets. So
right.
Come along and bring a friend, or come on your own, because you're going to be around other awesome women and you will be welcomed. And, you might have 5 seconds of being uncomfortable, and then you'll go, you know what, Joe, or you know what, Aldwyn, or Denna, or Charlie, because we're all going to be there. You're going to know that you're in the right place at the right time, and you're going to walk into that Phoenix room, and then you're going to go, and then you're going to have some fun, and then you're going to share some wisdom and learn some new stuff. And it's, there's a lot happening in those 2 days, and you don't want to get into FOMO. You don't want to wait for 2024 summit, which will happen next year. Don't wait for next year. Your time's now. Step into your courage, really step into your greatness and come along. and join us on this 2-day beautiful journey on the Gold Coast at the Crown Plaza, rising together as a beautiful collective of women in our worth and our wealth and our beautiful wisdom.
Oh, love it. And Phoenix Room, what a brilliant name for a room to have it in.
Oh, there was a journey with getting the venue, but you know what? Like, thank you, universe. The Phoenix Room. Thank you. We're going to all rise like a phoenix.
Oh yeah, watch the space. So Hinamoa says, love it. The conversation is beautiful. There is power in forgiveness and gratitude. Absolutely. Thank you so much for all of that. And for those who want to connect with me, you can do that at Linktree. All my links are at Linktree. And also you have a group as well that we can share here. Tell us a little bit about your group, please, Jo.
Yeah, the group, so it's a free group. It's a free Facebook group. It's called the Worthy Women Movement. If we can share the link, you can just come in and join. And yes, there's all information about the movement, but it's, high vibrational space for women to feel empowered and safe and come in. I'd love to welcome you and be part of the collective energy. Like, as soon as you join that group, I feel energetically you're already part of something. Will shift in your worth and your wealth or your wisdom, or all three of those things, because I know what a journey it's been for me since I created this. And this was a very strong calling to do this, and it's finally coming to fruition on the weekend. But yeah, come along and join the free group. I'd love to have you. And you hang out with me. Of course, all my speakers are in there, and some other awesome women sharing their wisdom as well, and their worth or their wealth or their wisdom stories. Come in and share one of yours.
It's going to be amazing. It is being birthed this weekend, the very first Worthy Women Summit, and we are rising in worth, wealth, and wisdom, and rising together, as Charlie says here, rising together, absolutely. And thank you for the conversation, ladies. Charlie says, thank you for joining in. Thank you for our live viewers who've joined in the conversation. And for those watching the replay, please let us know in the comments, what are your top tips to rise in worth, wealth, and wisdom? What are your top tips? What do you do to fill your cup up and to bring you joy so that you feel fully alive? What are some things that you do? Share with us some things you love. What are some things you love doing? I did a story last night about this interview, and the song I played was Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper.
I love Cyndi. I love Cyndi Lauper's music. She's so good. She's so good.
She's awesome. And that song brings me joy. And the other day I played the film clip for She Bop, her old song She Bop, and it's a classic. It's a classic.
Because I have got a playlist for the Worthy Women Summit. And I've got some dance music, a lot of 80s dance music. And then I've got beautiful songs for each speaker. If they haven't chosen one, I choose one for them. I chose a great one for Aldwyn, because she goes, oh, okay, I like that one.
Yes, I did. I did. Yeah, I can't remember what it is now, but I remember it was
coming out, Diana Ross, because you want to come out, get publicity, be out there. It's like a great song.
Yeah, I love that song.
Charlie's got a bit of Lady Gaga happening with when she comes up twice. And the theme song is Brave. So I've given you, there's some, some beautiful music, inspirational music on its own. But
it's going to be so good. So good, so good. Hinamo says, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Jo. Can't wait. I know you're absolutely flat out at the moment with your schedule. Thank you for making time for this very special chat today on International Women's Day. And for women around the world, sending you much love today for International Women's Day. And, of course, all the men out there too, thank you so much. None of us would be here without you. So thank you for all the men out there as well, and waving the magic wand, because anything is possible for you. What do you truly want for your life? How do you want to live your life? It is such a precious gift to be here on the planet. And having just had almost a near-death experience myself a few weeks ago, getting washed out to sea at Coffs Harbour, I'm incredibly grateful to be here right now, because we never know what is going to happen in the future, and nothing is ever guaranteed for the future. However, you can make the most of today. So here's to having an absolutely brilliant life, and here's to a brilliant weekend. Can't wait. We will see you there at the amazing Worthy Women Summit at the Crown Plaza Service Paradise this weekend, March 11 and 12. Full day events, fully catered, gift bags, amazing speakers. Any final words, Jo?
Oh, just happy International Women's Day. And, thanks to all the guys for always supporting, not always, but supporting us. And, you know, for my husband and being my amazing support as well, my Mr. Worthy and all the other Mr. Worthies out there supporting other women and helping them to step into their own worth and wealth and wisdom, and know that whatever happens in your life, that we can change and we can create a beautiful, deliciously divine life, and whatever that means to you.
Oh, love it, love it. Thank you so much. This has been such a wonderful conversation. And please, for those joining us, let us know in the comments once again what you do in your life to bring more worth, wealth, and wisdom to your life. What are some tips you can give us? What are some things that light you up and bring you joy? And if you've enjoyed this conversation, please share the love, share it on socials, and let's get the word out so we can help lift the energy out there and create a much kinder world for self and others. Sending much love. Thank you so much once again. We'll see you again next time on Media Queen TV. Bye for now.